This curriculum analysis is about Go Math. This is a middle school Go Math curriculum for 6th grade. This lesson image is of lesson 7.2 in the ratios unit. On the right-hand side, you see a central question. The curriculum is rooted in essential questions for each lesson that guide and govern the lesson, as well as questions for the unit. There are QR codes that students will be able to use their iPads or cell phones to scan and view math on-the-spot tutorial videos for every example in the book. There are explore activities that connect to an online component where students are able to view the activity being done on the board as they write it down in their workbooks. Your turn exercises allow opportunities for checks for understanding to really understand what the child has learned. Did they get the explore activity? Are they grasping the concept? And a quick walk around the room and check to see that students are getting the answers we expected during planning are being shown here. At the very bottom, you see a play strategy, games, and activities. So students are able to, between units, play games that enhance their learning. Play is a fascinating way to help retention in mathematics class. Here you will see the content being broken down a little further with just examples of what is in the student notebook. There are you ready? Get started tasks where students are able to show their skills and show off what they know prior to the unit. The Are You Readies really give the students that extra boost and preparation to prepare themselves with the background knowledge, that schema to go forward in the math unit. The reading startups are full of vocabulary, language, and note-taking support that allows students to understand the vocabulary enriched and designed for the unit. Toward the middle of the unit, you'll see a ready to go on page. I like to use these as quizzes, but they're just a stamina booster to say, hey, did you grasp the primary contents of this unit, these particular groups of lessons? Then answer in your own words your reflection on how to apply this to a real-world example. And after introducing a real-world example, we're going to go into a performance task. And the performance tasks are very project-based, and they incorporate a lot of planning and preparation to really break it down and get into the application of new skills and concepts to solve real-world problems in unit performance tasks and careers in math classes. All right, and it even goes as far to break down the standards for mathematical practice. Every single lesson has a standard of mathematical practice that it focuses on, so that the educator can then create an experience for the student that allows them to persevere through difficult problems, to reason abstractly and quantitatively, to be able to really provide that mathematical experience for our students, right? Encouraging them to construct those viable arguments, to make models with mathematics, to use tools appropriately and strategically, to attend to precision, to look out for and make use of structure, to look for and express regularity in repeated reasoning. Really encouraging our kids to use their comprehension skills, to look for patterns, to justify those reasonings, and fight for the right to believe in their answer, right? That promotion and that building of character. Furthermore, there is an amazing technology component to all of this. The personal math trainer allows the student, after the lesson is over and after we have done this work in the classroom, in the notebook, to go back into their own online account for practice and help. The personal math trainer lets you practice, take quizzes and tests, and get homework help and instant feedback, right? So it really caters to diverse learning styles. If the student was not able to be successful during the school day or during the lesson, they really are given that opportunity to go home and hone in and refresh those skills and really apply what they learned during the day to the concepts at home. And this is all technology based, so the kids are able to go in and use the computer to do this on their own. In the event they do not have a computer, Go Math does have a notebook where they can take out differentiated learning sheets. They can improve their practice. They have reteaches and different activities designed to cater to the multiple learning styles. Whether they need manipulatives, they will be provided online. What I would like to see from Go Math is a manipulatives kit so that the experiences that they provide in their projects are a little more hands-on. Okay, so now that we've gone through that, I would like us to discuss how the online component works. So first you see here an interactive student edition. So notice first that the videos here are of live people. It is very important that our kids see live people so that they get out of the mind frame of cartoons being factual and learn to begin applying those mathematical concepts to the things that they do in their everyday lives. So a good mix is really good. Some cartoons, some real life, but really that application piece, right? How do you apply it to your real life? Okay, so we're gonna go into the interface. When I log in, this is what I see. This is my screen. So you have so many different things that you can do with this program. The very first thing that you see is at-home learning support. Then we go into getting started with Go Math. We have the middle school math program tour. We jump into the interactive student edition. This is the teacher's edition. Then you have teacher resources. And then, the kids, what they see when they jump into the interactive student edition. You can add more books and different things to this depending on what your school purchases. And the left and the right arrows on either side will take you there. So this is just a start, I'm not going to play the guide, but just to give you an idea of what it looks like. This is a personal math trainer. It goes into how to use Go Math. So it's really good for tutorial purposes if you're confused on how to use the program or what to do. And these videos, they give you user guides. You're really able to go in and determine, self-help, really. That's really what it is. You're able to self-help. So moving forward, the interactive student edition. I'm going to jump into the teacher's edition only because it has all the answers and it'll just break it down. So look at the unit. Unit 1, this is a number sense unit. We go into numbers, number operations, proportionality, ratios, and rates, and so on. And each one is broken into modules. The modules are broken down into lessons. So as we get into lesson 1 of this unit, we're going to see Go Math show us an essential question. That's the very first thing it does. And then it plays a video that's related to that essential question. And as you can see, it has a cool little screen star. And then we fast forward and you notice that this is a real life person talking. This is a real life situation that we are applying to math so that the kids can make that connection. And I would advise all educators to try to create some type of experience in the classroom so that the kids are able to jump in. As the lesson goes on, this explore activity that's on the board is also in their notebooks. So the kids can then see, oh, hey, this is the positive side, and then they'll be able to fill these answers in on the side of their assignment in their notebook, because it's really breaking down what positive numbers can look like, what they are, and having the kids write them down and also being able to graph them on the number line. A lot of kids often struggle with how to graph on the number line. Well, they'll put like the dot above or below, and sometimes just not directly in the middle, and they need that explicit direction to do that. Okay, so jumping out of the basics of how the interface works with the unit, there are teacher resources to follow up with the unit. So to continue in number sense, I want you to see that there are tests that are continuous, the your turn checks in the student notebooks. There are performance tasks that are available as well in every single unit. Every module is broken down, every lesson is broken down, and you're really able to go in with practice and problem solving strategies for the students to help them in areas that they might possibly need more support in. There are reteach strategies, reading strategies, success for English language learners, and then they have the solution keys for the lesson themselves. So this program, if used correctly and if used interactively with the intent to provide our students experiences, will have a great shot. So this is now the at-home learning support. And with at-home learning support, they just break down, a tool that you can use to really get in and understand how to help your child at home. And students will be able to have that extra support to really break them in. All right, so here back on the interface, you'll see My Smart Planner and the view your daily schedule here, and that would just help kids to see what assignments they have coming up, any tests, online quizzes. Everything should appear there as far as their daily schedule, what they're expected to do for the day. Now, the assignments is just a weekly overview, right? For the next 7 days, what has your teacher put in here for you to complete? And reports. These will show your grades. So it'll really give you an opportunity to see where you're succeeding and where you need support at. And the Get Started with Go Math Guide. This will really help you if you're struggling with, hey, what do? I don't understand how to teach my students. This is another tutorial that'll break it down. It has a menu option that'll, go even further in depth beyond the video. So you really have an opportunity to learn how to help your students when necessary. All right, and I just wanted to kind of dive into the student workbook really quickly so that you see that the students are also aware of what is expected of them. It is very clearly stated the topic of every single lesson. It lets them know the real world video examples so they can follow along online while they're in their notebooks, if that is an option as well. So they don't have to be limited to just the notebook itself, but really have this experience to go back and forth between the technology and the notebook. Everything is aligned to the Common Core standards, and the students are also aware of how the standards align to each lesson, in addition to it being on these very first and beginning pages, right? So the student assessment is continuous throughout this Go Math experience, and really just mastering and getting kids to understand what Go Math is really essential in them beginning to use the curriculum, period. They need to know how to use it and how to take advantage of it. And the curriculum is user-friendly. It's very easy access to it. You just log in, you sign the kids up, you get them a password and ways to get involved, and everything else is for, just following up and checking data and really having the opportunity to enhance the child rather than trying to develop lessons. I think the focus would be to create experiences with this curriculum rather than to add new lessons to it. So one piece of feedback that I would say for this is that you cannot add lessons to the curriculum. That is the one thing that's kind of like, hey, I really wish I would have been able to go in and add my own pizzazz to my own style to what is offered. However, that's not an option. So that's one thing I would definitely go back to change. The Go Math curriculum was last updated in 2020. Thank you for watching.